I left the family home because I thought that that's what men do when love starts breaking its own furniture. I told myself better I carry the damage than let it land on her. Better I disappear than let my daughter learn the sound of adults hurting each other. And I didn't leave angry, I left protective, guilty, a quiet kind of courage that no one applauds. And the council called it voluntary. Voluntary like choosing an ocean so the others don't drown. And they said I made myself homeless, said rules were rules, said all they had for me was a sleeping bag and a reason why it wasn't their fault. Because I was a man, because I walked away, because context doesn't fit on a fucking farm. And yeah, they offered me a possible place in a homeless hostel. But I knew those corridors, knew the smell of relapse before the door even opened. Knew I was really trying to stay sober, so I said no. And no cost me almost everything, but I didn't lose my daughter. And that mattered the most to me, to broken me. Because despite the drugs, I stayed. I slept where I could, borrowed sofas, borrowed time, borrowed whatever let me say she's with me this weekend. I walked 16 mile a day for her. 16, not for fitness, for presence, for pride. I learned which blisters you ignore and which ones bleed quietly inside your breaking boots. And I hid my addiction from her the best I could, made myself smaller, quieter, functional, but how could she not see it? How could she not know that daddy wasn't okay, that smiles were rehearsed, that energy came from somewhere borrowed, that love was doing the heavy lifting while the rest of me fell apart? So I told myself, as long as she laughs, as long as she sleeps safe, as long as she still runs into daddy's arms, then I'm doing something, doing it right. But the streets don't care about intention. Cold argues better than logic. Loneliness rewrites promises, and sobriety starts to feel like another thing that you're failing at in public, so I relapsed. Not because I didn't love her, I did. I left our family home for the sake of her. But the world had no place for men that do that quietly. And by the time anyone noticed, I was already gone from myself. Still a father, still walking, still trying, just holding a sleeping bag in one hand and my daughter's weekend bag in the other, trying to prove that love can survive even when everything else falls apart. And I didn't leave because I don't care, I left because I did. I slept rough, walked 16 mile a day, hid addiction behind love, and still turned up with empty pockets and full arms. And they call it voluntary homelessness. I call it a father who never stopped walking towards his precious daughter.